Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Screencast for Chapter 16. This week in STEM Challenge, The World Within, we'll be looking at an introduction to the human body, mainly bones, muscles, and skin. So let's get started with this. Let's go back. We'll be looking at the organization of the human body, the skeletal system, muscular system, and the integumentary system. Now, for some of you non-biology people, that system is our skin, and they do a little bit at the end. The quiz this week will have questions from 6.1, 2, 3, and 4. Let's go to the next. The organization, 16.1. This is a picture that's probably familiar to a lot of you. Many living systems, living animals, are composed of cells of the same type, composed tissue that different types of tissue that performs the same function is called an organ. String those organs together. In this one, the digestive organ of this mouse, we have an organ system, and then you have the organism itself. That's what they mean by levels of organization. Different types of cells, we've talked a lot about this, different shapes, and they're different shapes because that's their function. There's 4 types of tissues in the human body: connective tissue, epithelial tissue, muscle, and nerve. So there's a picture there, a very stylized picture of it. So in this chapter, these are the major systems of the human body: skeletal system, muscular system, digestive system, respiratory system, nervous system, and circulatory system. The skeleton system, 16.2. So we're going to have an overview of this. Take a look at this. We would be referring to the skeleton in the room if we had it, but on this diagram, I've circled in yellow the bone parts that I would like you to know. I'd like you to memorize them. Most of these you know already. If you look at the cranium, the mandible, the clavicle, that's your shoulder bone, the scapula, the sternum, the ribs, but everything in yellow I would like you to know for the quiz, and this particular diagram, this exact diagram, will be in the quiz. This is the anatomy of the elbow. Here we have the bicep muscle. If you just feel your bicep muscle now, and there's 3 important things with this diagram. Know the difference between a tendon, a ligament, and this yellow line coming down here. That's a nerve. In biology illustration, usually nerves use the yellow color. So wherever you see this in a pretty good biological illustration, they'll show it to you. Our bicep, if the muscle is being held to a bone, in this case, the bicep is being held to the radius with this tendon right here. You can feel that. As you go down your bicep, you'll feel the tendon. However, when we want to connect bone to bone, that's not a tendon, that's your ligament. There's a wonderful, a really nice website called BioDigital or the BioHuman. I've linked it here. For any of you that are thinking of going into anything healthcare related or human body, this is just a great site. I'd highly recommend that you go on and create an account. This is another great one, eSkeletons. This is from a university in Texas. Don't worry about this one for the quiz. Bone tissue. Okay, if we're looking at bone, bone tissue is made up of compact bone, spongy bone, bone marrow, periosteum, and a lot of people don't realize this, but the bone marrow, which we'll talk about a little bit in a second, the bone marrow is where all your red blood cells are created. And here there's the bone matrix. It's very complex. A lot of people think that the bone is just a very simple part of your body, and it's really not. The bone matrix is very complicated. You should look over this. I will not be asking you on the quiz, though, all of these terms here. That would be for a full anatomy and physiology course. Read over what bone cells do and where they're made. We're going to look at the type of joints now. If we take a look at the skeleton, there's the ball and socket joint of your shoulder, there's a pivot joint of your elbow, and there's the hinge joint of your knee. Make sure you know those different types. Movable joints sometimes are known as synovial joints. Part of that reason is because they have synovial cavity and synovial fluid and lining in there that helps the joints move. This is a really good video that you should watch. We might have a question on that. This young man, his name is Daniel Kraft. Daniel Kraft is a doctor at Stanford University, and he has invented a way to get bone marrow out of the bone out in a much more humane way. He'll describe how this is so much better than what they did in the past. It's a short 4-minute video, and you should watch that. The muscle system, the muscular system, what are muscles? There's skeleton muscles, there's cardiac, and there's also the smooth muscle. These, as you can tell, skeletal muscles are what hold the bones and move the bones. Smooth muscles are what's in your digestive system. The cardiac muscle is your heart. Read about skeletons and muscles. Here's a good shot. Your bicep, your tricep right on the other side. Muscles work in pairs, most of them. Most of the muscles in our human body work in pairs. And the only thing that muscles can really do is contract. They contract and relax. When you bring your fist up close to your body, that's your bicep that is contracting, and your tricep on the other side is relaxing. You will not have to know all the muscles of the human body, but these are the major muscles. There's tons and tons and tons of muscles, large and small, throughout your body. These are some of the major ones. You will not have to know these for the quiz, just those bones that we mentioned before. How muscles work is called the sliding filament theory. We are pretty good about understanding how it works. We're not positive every aspect of it. That scientists are still studying that. And this is a diagram that explains it. I would just know this diagram and know the name, the sliding filament theory. This is a good TED Ed, which talks about the 650 muscles that are in your body and how they work. There are two. There's this and this particular one, which talks about how do you create new muscle. Both of these are really interesting. I would read through those. The integumentary system, as I said, this is the skin, and on here, the skin is the body's largest organ. And these facts are just amazing. Now think of this. This is 1 square inch of skin has 20 blood vessels, 650 sweat glands, and more than 1,000 nerve endings. It also has an incredible amount of 60,000 pigment-producing cells, all within 1 square inch. Just amazing. This is a stylized, illustrated version. I will not ask you to know all of these. You know the type of questions that I ask in the quiz, but make sure you look over this and you can appreciate how complex and at the same time subtle the skin is. Now, some skin problems. Acne is a big skin problem that we deal with. Read about what causes that. And skin cancer is a growing problem in our culture, mainly because of the thinning of the ozone layer, although the good news on that is that's one environmental problem that we've been working on, and the ozone layer is getting thicker, but it'll take a little more time. This is what different types of skin cancer looks like. It's asymmetry. Asymmetry means it's not symmetrical. It's irregular. There's a specific color to it. And as you get older, all of us will probably, because we're exposed to more UV, the harmful radiation, which can basically change the DNA in our cells to turn them cancerous. It's really important to pay attention to that and understand your skin. These are the 5 signs. We just talked about those. And this is a wonderful, a little funky video from the National Geographic, which is about your skin. I think you'll enjoy this. I'd like you to watch that. We're going to end this short overview of the chapter with an absolutely amazing scientist by the name of Anthony Atala. Anthony Atala is printing new human organs. This is cutting edge, and even though this video is from 2011, there have been some major milestones in his department, and I'd like you to watch this. This one's about 10 minutes long. I'd like you to watch it. His name is Anthony Atala. This is the type of scientist that we really should be recognizing more and more. So if you have any questions, please let me know. The notes for Corona Week number 2, Coronavirus Week number 2, I've posted and in our regular weekly schedule. I'm also going to post this link there as well. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're being safe. I miss having class, but we'll get through this. We'll get through this. Have a nice day, everyone. See ya.